Guys, how the what I'd like to ask everybody to do who's watching now is to do me a favor and hit the share and the like button. Today I won't be giving anything away because we're talking about something pretty serious. Obviously, we had a lot of very sad times this past week. As I'm sure everybody knows, tragedy struck. So what I'd like to do today is discuss that a little bit, talk a little bit about Dallas and my experiences working with him and being friends with him, and talk to you guys about the Dallas McCarver Foundation and what we've done for him so far, and just give you some details. And also, there's some rumors I'd like to address out there. I think, normally I would try to just avoid anything not positive. In my whole life, that's my strategy. When there's something that's not positive, or any people that are, quote unquote, like haters or whatever, or negative people out there, I either remove them from my life or ignore their presence. But today, because of the type of situation that this is, I feel like it is important to address some of the negativity that's out there and that I've been seeing and have been alerted to. So I'm going to do all that today. And then, of course, we'll get to our normal readiness report. If you guys are new to watching this, the readiness report is essentially where we talk about everything going on in Redcon 1, about the products. People have the opportunity to ask me business questions and interact with the CEO. And that's the whole idea behind Redcon 1, is being available and giving away value for free. And so that's what we did here, and that's part of the actual marketing plan that I told Dallas McCarver over a year ago to get him interested and to have him move across the country. So let's start with that. So how did I meet Dallas McCarver? And I met him several times in the past over the years, at after parties, at shows, and we always got along. But I really didn't know him that well. We weren't close friends or anything like that. But I did see a tremendous amount of potential in Dallas, and I saw potential several ways. Number one, he had a great reputation. People always said how good a guy he was, and that he was a really hard worker. Number two, he wasn't featured by his previous company, BSN, at all. And I thought, man, what a great asset, this amazing athlete. And then he had his partner, Matt. These two, they seemed like a match made in heaven. Two best friends who were achieving their goals together. And I thought, geez, how could this not be shown? I mean, this guy should be covered like no bodybuilder in history has. And number three, he was incredibly strong. He was functional, so it wasn't just this big guy. He had all three things going for him: good personality, great work ethic, incredibly strong, huge guy, not covered by anybody else. So when the idea for Redcon 1 came up, so this is even before we had a name. We didn't even have a logo. But Eric Hart and I and Eduardo Silva, Eric Hart is the vice president of the company here now, and Eduardo is the chief of staff, number 3 in command here. It was us three, and I called Eric, who had known him from BSN, and I said, "Man, what's this guy's number?" And out of the blue, I texted him. It's not like we had really talked previously. I don't think I'd ever spoke to him on the phone before. And he said he was in his sister's graduation, but as soon as he walked out, he was going to call me, and he did. And I pitched him on this company, this idea of Redcon 1, even without the name. So I told him, our idea and our plan of giving value and education, entertainment for free to the consumer, with hopes that they will try these amazing supplements that we are going to design together. And he said, I would love to have some ability to have creative control or talk or help form it. I said, anything you want. The only thing I need from you is a commitment to move to Boca Raton and leave, leave your family and leave your friends and move. And it was a big request, and I honestly thought it would take some time for him to decide. But he believed in the idea and the proposal and the plan so much that he agreed right then on the phone. He said, "Yes, let's do it. I'll start looking for a place right now." And that's exactly what happened. And people saw him wearing the Redcon stuff, and Matt as well, months before there was even products. I mean, it was and it was at that moment that he said yes, unequivocally yes, that I knew that Redcon 1 was going to work. I knew right then that it was a sure thing this was going to work. And I also knew that it wasn't an option for it not to work. Just like Dallas moved across the country and left everything he knew to move here and put his life into this, I did the same thing with mine. a big commitment. Excuse me, guys. Somebody's coming up here. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. My breakfast. How crazy is that? That's Facebook Live for you. So he made the commitment to move and became part of an incredible team. And we put together something truly, truly special here together. And we created a supplement company that I think, based on what we've done and the penetration in the market and the interest, is the fastest growing supplement company in the history of the world. And a very large part of that is because of the efforts that Dallas put in, his time, his energy, his image, and the good word that he spread to everywhere and everyone he met. Everywhere he went, people said, "What a great guy! How respectful! How nice!" He was widely loved and respected by everybody. And there's no way to estimate, to tell you how big an impact he played, other than to say that it was one hell of a big one. One hell of a big one. So when he passed away, everyone here at the office, we have a big team here now, 34 people work in the office full time. Everybody was devastated. We have over 2,200 tier operators who love and live and breathe the brand, who were absolutely devastated. And obviously there was millions of fans out there that were devastated. And there was a core group of us who are his close friends who live here in Boca, who, were beyond devastated, that were shocked. And, obviously Eric Hart, obviously Josh, who was living with him, Lenardowitz, was in shock. I feel like everybody was in shock. And Eric Hart and his wife, Erin, dealt with the situation as it happened. Anyway, without getting into the details, they all sat in here, and Ashley Sabir, his girlfriend, came in, and this was after I put out the video trying to dispel some rumors and head off at the pass anything negative said about Dallas, because the worst thing that I could think of was having his legacy hurt. And when I spoke to Flex, who was a mentor, more than a friend, but a mentor to Dallas, he said, I was on the car ride home. He had actually been the one who called in the middle of the night to let me know what had happened the night that it happened. And he said his legacy is riding on your video, the next things you say. So it was a lot of pressure to do it right, and to beat any other bullshit, any fake news that was going to come out. So we did this video, and everybody in here watched it. All of his close friends watched it and said, "Okay, yes, go make it live." And right after the video went out, we were all sitting here upset. And Ashley, his girlfriend, said it was very important to her to do something for Dallas, in Dallas's name. And literally minutes after I put that video out and everybody was sitting here crying and upset, she made a point to say, like, this is an opportunity to do something good in Dallas's name, and turn something that was incredibly tragic into something positive. And she told me that, and I was like, you know what? She's right. We actually have an opportunity to do something really, really special. That he would have wanted that. He would have wanted something good. If there was something that could have come out of that terrible, terrible tragedy, I'm sure he would have wanted something good, if it could, to come out of it. And so she said, you know what Dallas cared about the most is children. And I have seen that firsthand with my children, and him playing with them. So I said, you know what? That's exactly right. And he had told me many times in the past about if he could, or when he could, or in the distant future. And I know his dream was to be Mr. Olympia. So he would say, you know, when I'm Mr. Olympia, or when I really make it, the thing that I want to do is to give back to children in some way and to provide for children in need. And it's not something that he had just told me. He had told Ashley. I found out recently he's told Matt Jansen, that his best friend for years now, many times, that this is something that he wanted to do for kids and for kids that were going through tough times. And as a child, he went through some tough times himself, and so he thought that this would be something that he could do in the future. Well, when she brought that up, I said, you know what? This is actually the time right now. You want to do the video now? I can have my people here in the office, my team, set this up immediately. Because look, the truth of the matter is, people's memories and their emotion is short lasting. The news cycle is fast. I mean, another terrible thing just happened. Rich Piana passed away, an icon in our industry. And I felt like if we were going to do it, we should do it right away to take advantage of the fact that people wanted to do something for Dallas right now. Right now. And I think that if you wait a few weeks or any amount of time, then it starts to become less of a big deal. And people's memories are short. And so we literally went downstairs at that moment, and that's why we both looked upset in the video, and Ashley looked sad. And when we did the actual explaining video about the foundation for the GoFundMe page, it was basically impromptu. It was like we were here, everybody's crying, the idea comes up, and moments later we go downstairs and shoot the video. My team worked on the logo, the GoFundMe page, the video, and Eduardo began the 503c charity form to create an entity in Dallas's name that the money from the GoFundMe could then eventually go into. And all of it was really rushed. I'll tell you, it was really rushed because I felt like the timing was imperative, that we get this out there and let people know that that they can do something now. If you have feelings, if Dallas touched your life, if there is an inkling in you to do something good for Dallas, then this is what should be done. Put some money, even if it was just a few dollars, into this GoFundMe. And the great news, the exciting news, is that we raised $55,000 in 3 days on the GoFundMe. $55,000. And I know without a question that Dallas is looking down now and is smiling and is happy about that and is probably a little amazed. Now, this is from contributions from you guys out there. You can still make these contributions, even if it's just a little bit. It's available at GoFundMe. But the main thing that I think Dallas would be amazed about is we quickly created, out of requests from you guys and the tier operators, everybody was saying they want something to remember Dallas by. Even, so we thought a t-shirt, right? Dallas obviously has his own clothing line, OYE. We thought something that's unbranded, that's just Dallas, doesn't have Redcon, doesn't have OYE, just something to remember Dallas in loving memory. And we created this t-shirt. And we have a great relationship with our printer. So good, in fact, that he actually is not charging anything for the printing or the labor of all these shirts. We put it on the site, and we've sold thousands of these shirts for Dallas. So people had an opportunity, and you still do have an opportunity, to go buy these incredible, memorable, something to remember him by shirt that I would love to see people wearing at the Olympia. What an incredible thing. I think that he would be amazed to see how many people were so touched that they went and wanted to buy this shirt. Thousands of people. And we're talking about thousands of people in less than 48 hours bought these shirts. And to me, that just speaks to the love that people have for Dallas. And the amount of social media posts and the amount of, just the amount of support that he has gotten, and that even we've gotten at Redcon 1, has been mind-blowing, unbelievable. And I think that he would be so pleased with that he did this. So let me get to the negative part of all this. Now, how you may be wondering, how can there be a negative part to giving $55,000 to children? And that is actually what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm wondering, how is that even possible, that there's something that I'm about to say that is negative that has come from this? But unfortunately, that is the state of the world. That there's always something found. There's always some drama or gossip that comes, no matter how good the intentions are. And to be honest, to me, I felt in the last day or so, I've actually felt like maybe I shouldn't have done any of this, as crazy as that sounds. Because there's a group of people that are now criticizing doing this and are speculating that what we're doing is illegal and that what we're doing is somehow being misappropriated and shouldn't have been done. And think that this is in some way capitalizing by raising the money and selling the t-shirts, is somehow capitalizing on Dallas's passing. And I got to be honest, it makes me very, very mad. Because I don't understand how this could be about anything other than Dallas and how this could be anything other than love. But that is actually not always the case. So even though we've gotten tons and tons and tons of positive comments, there are a few people out there that I want to bring up, and I feel like it's important to bring them up and let people know that this is going on, because it honestly, it hurt my feelings, and I don't know how to deal with it other than to bring it up. There's two guys in particular. One, his name is Nick Trigilli, and he's a former bodybuilder, and he says that he's a friend of Dallas. He and I have some history because he's applied for a job with me many times, and unfortunately, I didn't want somebody with his past and character representing the business. So Dallas actually asked me not to have him around because of some of their history. So I ignored him, and I think by ignoring him, I upset him, and so he set off this chain of events where he has speculated that this has not been done in Dallas's name, and that the money will not actually go to Dallas. So I think that it's important to talk about it for a moment. Him and another gentleman, Adam McVeigh, who is honestly the bottom of the most bottom feeders. He actually doesn't know Dallas at all, but has, I guess, funded this or got this little movement going. So anyway, I wanted to make a point to let everyone know that the money that is controlled, the GoFundMe that we were able to raise, the $55,000, is only in Ashley's name, his girlfriend, Ashley Sabera. And then when I go tomorrow to Dallas's funeral in Tennessee, which is going to be very, very, very sad, his mother, this is the list of people that are going to be running the foundation: Ashley Sabera, Katie McCarver, Lynn McCarver, Penny, his mother, McCarver, and Matt Jansen are going to be running the foundation. Myself and anyone here at the team at Red Conwan will have no participation in the foundation whatsoever. And I would have been happy to participate if that was what they wanted, because I feel like I could continue to raise more money. But I think due to all of any negative speculation, I think it would be best if these guys and his family and his best friend run it. And if they want help in the future for me raising more money, I'm always happy to raise more money for children in Dallas's name. But until we figure that out and we get this thing cleared up, I want to make sure that there's no speculation and that no one would possibly be able to say that there is anything not done in the utmost professional and loving manner. So that is the important thing to note. And I'm very sad that I even had to bring that up, because it's such a special thing that was done, that all of you, I mean, realistically, I was able to be my team really was able to be the tool to make this stuff happen. But this is truly based strictly on the love that you all have for Dallas. The donations that have been made are made by people, by individuals. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that have donated, and thousands of people that bought the t-shirts. We've had people like his friend who we hung out with in Spain. He said a lot of nice things. Colum. We have Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman. A lot of great people have donated and supported the cause. This is just a small minority that the Nick Trigillis and Adam McVeighs is a tiny minority, but it's a vocal minority. And honestly, it pissed me off. It made me mad and it hurt my feelings. And that's really why I'm talking about it, because I just don't understand how in this world there are people like this who would twist something that's so positive into something that's negative. So I wanted to let everyone know and to fill people in case you were wondering, I and my team have no access to the money that has been donated and will not have any participation whatsoever unless I'm asked to raise money, which I'll be happy to do events or participate in any way I can in raising money, but will not be running the foundation in any way, that it will be his family, his girlfriend, and his close friend. So I think that I've identified all of this, and we've discussed it. Obviously, there's been the negative stuff that's been said out there is libel, slander and libel, which is obviously a big deal. So it is what it is. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I will answer questions. How Readiness Report works. I call it a show. This broadcast generally we don't talk about stuff like this. Usually there's not anything this serious. This is an incredibly big tragedy, Dallas passing. And to be honest, it's one of the more dramatic. I've had a life full of dramatic events. I've had a past that has had some tremendous downs and some humongous ups. And then a whole hell of a lot of stress in between. But I've had a very dramatic life. And this ranks up there with one of the more shocking and dramatic things that have ever happened to me. And that certainly says something, because everybody here at the team, all of his friends, all of his family, nobody saw this coming. And when he came into the office the day before he passed, or the day of him passing, he was in such a good mood, and it was looking so great. He had no signs of anything, like no shortness of breath, no nothing. He seemed like he was in such a great mood and so happy, and so willing to do anything. And that's the one thing I will say about Dallas is, and I think this is the most important thing that Dallas will want remembered, is that how hard he worked, that he gave it his all. He gave it everything he had. So his gym time, his business life, his relationships, his friendships, he gave it all. He put everything into it. And that's something that not everybody can say. And I guess as a reminder of what happened, what has transpired, it just reminds me to give every ounce I have to my business, to my friends, obviously to my children and my family, which are number one. And never miss a chance to hug people or tell them how much you appreciate them, or tell your loved ones that you love them, because no time is guaranteed. You have no guarantee, and the most valuable thing you have is time. So use it well. So with all that in mind, people have asked, what are the plans for RadCon 1? So the plans for RadCon 1 are very simple. We're going to carry on in Dallas's honor and in his name, and we are going to do what he would want to do, with how he lived his life. He lived his life in pursuit of being the best. He lived his life in pursuit of winning. When I think of Dallas, I think of somebody who gave everything he could and put everything into being the best. So that is exactly what we're going to do here at RadCon 1. We are going to be the biggest and the best supplement company in the world. And when people think about supplement companies, they're going to think about RadCon 1, because I know without question that is what Dallas would want. Whew. So that's that. All right, so the normally in the show, in the broadcast, we answer questions in segment number 3. What I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to deviate from what we normally do, and I'm going to actually go to the Facebook Live and start looking at your questions now. I have not been watching the questions or the interactions so far because it distracts me, and then I lose train of thought, and I don't say what I meant to say. So I actually don't look, and I haven't seen anything you've said so far. So if you have any questions right now, I'm going to start looking here at the computer screen to see what questions you guys have, and I'm going to answer questions specifically related to what was just said, or about Dallas, or about the foundation. And then I'm going to go on with the normal readiness broadcast, where I talk about other stuff related to RadCon 1, answer questions that were asked previous on Facebook about products and stuff like that, and then go to live questions related specifically to products. So this is maybe a little longer show. It's a little different than normal. So right now, do me a favor and ask whatever questions you would like to, starting from now. Any old questions I did not see. So let me start here at the top. So guys, I see some product questions like about MedPack. I'm going to save all of those questions about the products and stuff like that till the end of this, or once we're finished the questions about Dallas and the foundation. Brent says, is there going to be a big country line or supplements related to this? Now, Brent, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So can you make a product name for big country? So one of the things that I really haven't liked, and one of the things that I just addressed, is people thinking that we are benefiting or capitalizing off of Dallas. So I honestly don't know how I'm going to handle that. So will you see pictures of Dallas in the future? Will OIE continue? Will we continue doing the Dallas McCarver shirts? I honestly don't know. I have to think about it. I would have said yes to all of those things before, but now it makes me think that that maybe it's the wrong thing to do any of that. I had a lot of cool plans. We have tons of unreleased video footage, but I don't know if I want to release that now because I don't want people to think that we are utilizing Dallas's memory to benefit. Which is, I wouldn't have thought that would have been the case before, but now I'm starting to look at things a little differently. Richard, any thoughts on new athletes you might sign? No, not right now. And the one thing I'll tell you is Dallas is not replaceable. He wasn't just an athlete, so it's hard to even consider anything like that. I'm sure one day we'll have new athletes, but there'll never be another Dallas McCarver. Will OIE, DL wants to know, will OIE still be made? I'm not sure, honestly. I thought so, but after this, I honestly am not sure if that's the right thing to do or not. Will this affect any plans of future shows or expos? Zachary wants to know. No, Zachary. In terms of the business must go on. This is what he will want. So we will be at the Olympia, of course, and all the normal shows we would do. There's no chance that Dallas would ever want us to change any plans like that. If anything, we're going to go bigger and harder than before and channel Dallas's energy and strength to push further and harder than we would have previous. So Cody asks, is there going to be a Dallas workout routine? That's another thing, Cody. I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that because of what happened. Because people are going to say that we're taking advantage of his workout routines. Maybe Matt Jansen will do that. I would think that Matt is his best friend, and I know he loved Matt. So if Matt wants to do that, if Matt feels comfortable doing it, and to be honest with you, I don't know if Matt will feel comfortable because people would say the same thing that Matt is now making money off of Dallas. So I really don't know how to handle that, honestly. Guys, just so you know, I am not going to answer the supplement questions during this part of the broadcast. We're just focusing on Dallas, the Dallas Foundation, and anything related to Dallas. As soon as we stop this portion, I'll go into the normal readiness report where I answer all the product questions and anything else you guys want to know. Let's see. Jason Hook from South Africa says something nice. From now on, every time I see a Red Cohen product, I will see Dallas and remember how he inspired us and how remember to work hard and that dreams can come true. That's awesome, man. Let's see. Can we get more details about the funeral? So that's Emil. I didn't want to say the name wrong. Emil. The funeral is private and it's just for close friends and family. I'm going out there tomorrow morning. It's not that this is not like a very private event. That being said, I do believe that there's going to be a memorial where people will definitely be invited to come and remember Dallas and celebrate Dallas here in South Florida. I believe next week, but I'm actually not organizing it. But when I do know about it, assuming that they're cool with it, I'll let people know if they want to, come and participate. So, and as far as bringing flowers and stuff like that, a lot of people have asked about flowers. I would suggest that instead of giving flowers, that you donate to the GoFundMe to help the children, because I know that would be more meaningful to Dallas. Sometimes at these events or funerals or memorials, there's all these flowers, and all that money is spent, and it could be spent on something really good and providing toys to children who don't have to. Obviously that's more meaningful. There should be a IFBB show in Dallas's name for his foundation. I think that would be great, Carl. It's one of those things. I think that's something that I could organize. I saw somebody else put something about a Dallas bash. All that stuff sounds great to raise money for the foundation, where 100% of the money would go to the foundation. That being said, that's up to the people that are running the foundation. Like I said, Ashley and his family and Matt Jansen. And if they wanted my help with any of that stuff to raise money, I would be very happy to do that. But I'm going to leave that up to them to ask if they want that kind of help, if they want to raise more money. So, okay. any future events planned or thinking of doing anything with Dallas's name with the foundation deal. Once again, this is up to the people that are going to be running the foundation. That being said, I know for sure Ashley Sabera plans on doing some great stuff initially with the money that has already been taken in, and she said she plans to video it and to show it so that people can see what your money is going towards, which I'm a big proponent of that. I think everybody should be able to see the good deeds themselves. One of the things that we initially thought about is giving the money to like a St. Jude's Child's Hospital or something like that. And while that is fantastic and a great, I'm sure a wonderful charity, wouldn't it be awesome to actually see the money being used to actually help people directly? So like me personally, if one day I'm fortunate enough to start a charity or somebody starts a charity in my name, I would want that money to 100% be given and shown where it's being given to benefit people directly. So like, for example, a lot of foundations, and I guess this is an important note, a lot of foundations give salaries to their executive officers or the people that are helping run it. And obviously that's up to them, but my intention, I would want nobody to get any money from the foundation. I would want 100% of the money to go to the actual children. That's what I would want. Let's see. I appreciate. I think you've done a pretty damn job. Thank you. Richard says, I think you've done a pretty damn good job in the past few days of what you've done. Very respectful and well spoken. Thank you, Richard. That was always my intentions, man. I felt like this is a beautiful thing, and to make something good out of something bad is that's honestly, that's kind of like my MO in life in general. I mean, people, talk to Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob Bailey, they call it Aaron mode, because I don't let a lot of stuff bother me. And then the stuff that does bother me, I try to do something about it. I don't sit back and complain. I know complaining doesn't help shit. So most people sit back and say this, or woe is me, or sad. And my MO in my entire life is when something bad happens to me, when I get knocked down. And by the way, everybody has bad stuff happen to them. Everybody, no matter who you are, what station you're at in your life, everybody has bad stuff happen to them. It's truly how you react to the bad stuff that determines where you're going to be in your life, because bad stuff happens to everybody. So I try to look at something bad and literally say to myself, how can we take this bad thing and turn it into something positive? And that's really what the Dallas McCarver Foundation, with the whole thing, the t-shirts, all of this has done. It has taken something that's tragic, that is hard to even understand. Why of all people, why would a 26-year-old man in the prime of his life, in the middle of the beginning of a fantastic career, with a girlfriend that he loves, happier than he's ever been, at least in my presence, happier than he's ever been, and he dies? It's very hard to understand that. And, I know a lot of people have problems when stuff they don't understand. When death happens, they ask why and how can this happen? Why wouldn't it be somebody who is doing all kinds of terrible things? Why not a bad person? Why Dallas? So the way to rationalize it is say that hopefully, this terrible thing will do something that good for a child. Maybe this money makes that big of a difference to a child and changes his life dramatically. It puts him on a whole different trajectory, and maybe that kid accomplishes something incredible. And that's how I look at life in general. So